We're out here in D.C. with Chase Iron Eyes. He's actually running for Congress in North Dakota, is that correct? Just briefly, I want to talk about what's going on out there on the front line as far as what's going on with Dakota Access. And right now, you know, today we're talking about security with armed machine guns, is that correct?
That's right. I mean, it's a roller coaster. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for coming out. August 10th is when construction started. They brought heavy equipment and bulldozers in. And August 15th was the first time that they stopped construction. September 3rd is when they brought the dogs out and they literally attacked women and children. And construction has been stopped for a while. But as you know, in federal court, the tribe lost their move to stop construction.
Yeah, I was actually at court that day when they got that word.
Construction has been authorized, but the Obama administration has stepped in and halted just on the river alone. But that didn't mean that construction is going to stop on the rest of the 1,000 miles of the corridor. As you saw today, I don't know if you saw some of the live feeds, but now the SWAT teams are out there. It's not armed, it's not vicious attack dogs anymore. It's SWAT teams in full riot gear with AR-15s.
Yes, because they're actually trying to stop the censorship on Facebook with the videos about that.
That's right. Facebook, they're having problems with live stream, Facebook Live. They've done things like put arrest warrants out for people like you know what I'm saying, journalists. Amy Goodman, who at Democracy Now! Has an arrest warrant out for her. But what they don't realize is they're fighting with an old playbook, and we're evolved. We're a different movement now.
It's actually activist Cody Hall got arrested also, and now he's banned from Sacred
Stone Camp.
Sacred Stone Camp.
So Cody's a college friend of mine. And what's interesting is it's not just about tribal nations, Indian people, and water. I mean, everybody has a struggle. Like a friend of mine, her name is Patrice Collar. She's one of the founders of Black Lives Matter. She came out on her own dime. Her and some of her comrades flew all the way out to North Dakota, rented a car, and came down to the camp. I think they're still there, if I'm not mistaken, but Black Lives Matter is represented there. The Occupy movement, the Rainbow Family, Bernie Sanders Brigade, about 140 tribal nations. Jill Stein came out with the human rights activist Baraka. He's running as her vice presidential candidate. And so since those dogs were used to attack women and children, this has completely blown the lid off what they hope to contain as a local, controllable, containable event.
The same exact thing you probably saw back in 1968 with the dogs on civil rights activists during that time.
There's a meme going around about when they were hosing down the civil rights activists and unleashing attack dogs on them. They got the same picture. Dogs on black brothers, dogs on native brothers.
I gotta ask you, because you're currently running for Congress.
Yes.
How much trust do you have in that? Going back to 1989 when Russell Means spoke before Congress, talking about how the broken treaties, time and time after again, talking about the longest walk. Do you see that same type of atmosphere going on the front lines out there in Dakota, where it's such a gathering of people in unity, not only of Native American descent, like you said.
Yes.
People are coming from all over the world at this time.
I think what's going on out there is a historic thing. There's a confluence of environmental rights, a confluence of spirituality, human rights, civil rights, racial injustice movements, and we haven't seen that in a long, long time. And it's a call out to our government, to the world, that we have to have a system that is for the people and by the people. We can't have a system that's completely bought out by big money and too big to fail everything. Just in my short time of running for Congress, I can tell cash rules everything around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is a real thing out here. I'm outfunded. For every dollar I have, my Republican opponent, who's a Trump surrogate, has $8. You know what I mean? And so what's going on here is a movement not to stop progress or be green extremists or tree huggers, as this is the narrative that the media is trying to put out, that corporate media is trying to put out. But it's a signal that as a country, as a state, as a globe, we need to value what Native Americans call the first medicine. We need to value our water resources more than we value gold, more than we value oil, more than we value anything, because all economic activity flows directly from water security. There is no energy development, there is no food security, there is no agricultural security, there's no hunting and fishing, there's no plant life, there's nothing unless you have water security. And so that's, you know, Bernie Sanders was out here today, and he is about that same movement where we need to take it back from the ultra rich and give our democracy back to the people.
Speaking on that, how disappointing is it that you don't hear that from the candidates who are running for office at this time, the two major candidates, and Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump?
Well, there's a difference between politicians and people who are really trying to be leaders. As leaders, there's a bit of humility, and there's a knowledge and a covenant that you're going to represent what your constituents are saying. For Native American people, most Native people come from that tradition where it's self-accountable leadership, even that's appointed by head women in that band or in that tribe. And so, like, I'm a very different kind of leader. Like, I'm not trying to be a politician. I don't want to be consumed by money. I want to return our democracy back to the people.
Last two questions for you. On yesterday, Lenard Peltier celebrated his 71st birthday in prison. Do you feel in your heart of hearts that he will be pardoned by Obama before he leaves office?
That's my prayer. I hope that he is. Whether or not, I mean, we don't have time to get into the whole complexities and the travesty of justice that was represented by that particular case.
Exactly.
I don't know if Lenard did it or not. I don't believe he did. But in the worst case scenario, he served over 38 years. He served about as long as Mandela has served. And he deserves to go on.
There were so many messed up questions behind the case, and during that time, if he was to stand trial with the rest, he would have gotten off.
Right.
But, so,
at this time, he deserves to transition to the next world with his loved ones. That's what I want for him personally. And so I definitely hope I support his clemency.
All right. I thank you for your time today, and good luck on running for Congress.
Hit me up on Facebook, man.
All right.
Chase Iron Eyes. Yeah.
I definitely will.
I like, I like what you're doing.
I appreciate it.